Mr. Tatum, we're streaming live.
Do you want to start off and then we'll invite the board to come on up? And then you'll just call it in?
Yes, all right. Good evening, everyone. If we could have your attention, again, we're so excited tonight because we have a lot of dignitaries that have joined us. People in the district who have made it 25 years. Let's give everyone a round of applause. 25 years. Tonight, we're going to celebrate those in Topeka Public Schools who've been in education for 25 years, not just in education for 25 years, but in Topeka Public Schools for 25 years. So a very special group of people. We're going to ask if our board members will come forth. Board members, if you would come. Yes, if you would come here, please. We're excited. Yes, ma'am. Yes. And so what's going to happen tonight, we're going to call your name. You're going to come up and you're going to be acknowledged, get a special gift. And then once you get your special gift, after everyone has gotten their special gift, we're going to take a picture with all of our honorees, and then we will have our reception. So again, congratulations to everyone. I know there were some individuals that said that they couldn't be here, but we want to make sure that we call everyone's name because they have dedicated 25 years here in Topeka Public Schools. So we're going to start with Joseph Arnold. Emily Carroll. Yes. Joseph Arnold, Information Technology. Emily Carroll, Topeka High. Maria Denny, Topeka High. Sarah Frisbee, Hope Street Academy. Leosha Jardina, Highland Park High School. Listen. Amy Galinka, McEachran Elementary. Same. Dr. Aaron Kipp, Burnett Center. Kathy Label, Robinson Middle School. Kimberly Long, McEachran Elementary School. Michael Lopez, Service Center. If the supervisor would come up, please. Oh, yes. Carla Loy, Topeka High School. Mr. Dick, if you would come forth, please. Mr. Dick as well. Marla Millat, Meadows Elementary School. Regina McQuiller, Information Technology. Keith Newberry, Topeka West High School. Jennifer Paxson, Highland Park High School. Jamie Porter Knox, Special Education Services. Dennis Renfro, French Middle School. Vicky Schreiner, McCarter Elementary. Ms. Taylor, please come up. Oh, yeah. And our next name, Mr. Travis Terrell, Information Technology. Melanie White, Meadows Elementary. And last but not least, Tanya Widow of Meadow Elementary. At this time, let's give everybody another round of applause.
And I don't know if any of our board members would like to make a comment. A lot of times when they're behind this area, they often do. So I'll turn it over to them. But let me say thank you for your service. I know many of you don't just have 25 years, you have years in other districts, and then you've come here for 25 years. It's remarkable. Without you, we wouldn't be able to engage, prepare, and inspire as our mission states. So thank you for your tremendous service. And many of you, if you've graduated from the school that you're currently teaching at, can you raise your hand if you graduated as a student? I wasn't sure if you'd be the only one. And has that diploma on in her office. So when students come in, she can say, I walked in your steps. And 25 years later, that's pretty extraordinary. Board members, would you like to make a comment before we start the reception?
They're looking at me. It means so much to us as a district. The continuality of planning and goals, inspiring and continuing learning happens when you have an education family. And 25 years, you are our family. I know so many of you from back in the day, and I just so appreciate you being part. Not only were you here, but you were on some of our planning committees. You are on leadership panels. You give so much to Topeka Public Schools, and it's really hard for us to be able to even thank you in appropriate ways besides your plaque. But it does, I hope it will remind you of how much you have meant to us and our students and your school family and moving us forward as a district. You are so, so very valued. And thank you for taking your time to come tonight and be with us. Thank you.
I knew you'd do that, Sam.
Great job. Anybody else? All right, I believe at this time there'll be some soft music playing. I know that there are refreshments up here. We invite you to remain over the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes as we gabble in. Once we gabble in, feel free to continue to stay. We'll be going to executive session, but this space will remain open for you. Dr. Gray, any final comment before we begin?
Again, thank you so much. Let's enjoy.
We'll call the meeting to order. Mrs. Boley. Mrs. Boley, come back, please. So we will do a roll call with Ms. Lister.
Hi, Mrs. Boley. Mr. Munoz,
Present.
thank you. Dr. Bonebrake is absent. Mr. Schmidt is absent. Dr. Schumacher,
I'm here.
Mr. Tatum,
Here.
and Dr. Beeson. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next item, which is recess to executive session. I need a motion. Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move the Board of Education of USD 501 recess into executive session for 30 minutes to discuss confidential personnel matters pursuant to the personnel exemption of the Kansas Open Meetings Act to protect the privacy of the individuals discussed. The board will return to open session in the boardroom at 6:31 p.m. The superintendent and executive staff are invited into executive session.
Is there a second? Ms. Boley. Any discussion? If not, we'll look for a vote.
And the vote is open. All votes are in and the motion carries unanimous.
This cup,
No,
No.
no, the other.
this one, whatever dessert it is from Cinnabon, like, oh, that's all I needed to see was, yeah. There might be some downstairs still, Sue. Yeah, I think it's, I think it's a cinnamon bun or something. Yeah, I thought that was funny. So
Okay, we will return into public session. And our next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. And so we need some people to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Jordan. Oh, so the senior of the month is who we often ask, but Jordan is not standing in here, but some other young people are. Can you join to do the Pledge of Allegiance? You too, you're looking around. Come on this way. You get to be seen on camera. Can you allow them? Oh, that's okay. You two young people, we have to start the meeting, so come on up. I'm going to do it with you, the Pledge of Allegiance. First of all, and everyone, 13,000 people are watching you. Oh my, what's your name?
AJ,
And what school do you go to?
Jardine Middle School.
Jardine Middle. And what's your name? And what school do you go to?
Jardine Elementary.
Jardine Elementary. And then Jordan, you want to come right in between them? Oh, and can you share what school you go to, our senior of the month?
I go to Topeka West High School.
With that, I'm telling you, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, they're going to have your picture up there one more time. I see they put the flag up, but so people didn't get a chance to meet who you were. You'll get a chance to talk to Jordan a little bit later. Now, as you get ready to take your seat, can you share what grade you're in?
I'm in 4th grade.
Oh, you did a very good job on the Pledge of Allegiance. And can you share what grade you're in?
I'm in 6th grade.
Excellent job. And you guys will get a chance to talk to Jordan a little later. Thank you all for coming up.
Okay, we will move down to our next item, which is the adoption of the agenda. And so I'm looking for a motion. Yeah, Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move the board adopt the agenda as presented.
And is there a second? Dr. Beeson, thank you. Any discussion? Okay, we will move to a vote. Great, thank you. And I will turn it back over to Dr. Anderson.
Oh, thank you. Please enjoy the Senior of the Month video, which will debut this evening.
Hello, my name is Jordan Toombs and I am a senior at Topeka West High School. I'm involved in quite a lot of things that if I hadn't have tried it, if I hadn't stepped out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't have discovered that they were passions of mine.
Well, obviously she's an outstanding student, but just in her leadership abilities, you know, she's always happy to see you, always happy to be here at school and doing what she does. She's involved in so many different things.
Jordan's one of those really rare, very special high school students that is mature beyond her years, but she's also very reflective.
She is a fantastic leader. She is someone who embodies what a good or an excellent leader would be. When she was a sophomore, you saw her kind of collecting all the information. And the cool part about Jordan is that what you see in public is what you get in private as well.
I am in the web and digital communications pathway at TCalc. It's just trying things out. I came in, started making graphics and videos and things like that. Being creative and kind of having that independence to do those things really helped me to be like, wow, I really love this.
It's tied directly to what she's doing here with the Face of the Broadcast News. She's able to go over there and develop her skills even further in a different way and making sure you make the most of your time here at Topeka West.
She challenges herself with difficult classes. With her leadership skills, she wants to learn and she wants to take that knowledge and improve herself, and she does.
After high school, I hope to attend Kansas State University with a major in business marketing. There are so many different interests of mine that can kind of be underneath that umbrella.
None of their leadership has ever been, for popularity. It's been like, hey, how can I help and how can I be of service in this community? And how can I do awesome stuff and be creative and keeping a great human with integrity?
Continue to get to know people, continue to treat each interaction as a learning opportunity and a chance for you to grow and for you to help other people. I have no doubt that she's going to make the world a better place.
I think that sometimes we grow up thinking that we are only going to do this thing, and so we do ourselves a disservice by not trying new things. You did it, girl. On to the next.
Please join me in welcoming up Miss Jordan Toombs. We are so very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. And I believe Ms. Hauser has a gift for you and some board members have a question to stay with her.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Anderson and board members, for allowing us to recognize yet another amazing Topeka West senior. So Jordan Toombs, as you just saw, she is an outstanding student. She ranks top 10% of her class. She's extremely involved in our school community, and she really represents the very best of Topeka West. She is actively involved in theater. She serves as a key contributor to our news broadcast team, and she's thriving in her TCALC web and digital design pathway. As a Link crew member, Jordan is a positive role model for underclassmen and her peers. And she was also a manager for football, and she volunteers to help her church with video and sound. So on top of all of these commitments and acts of service that she's already giving, she still somehow manages to find time to throw javelin and disc in track. Just incredible. So her talent, her positivity, and her leadership, they make her incredibly deserving of this recognition. And then one last thing I'd like to highlight, Jordan won the Edgerly Franklin Leadership Scholarship at K-State. This is a $5,000 scholarship, and only up to 5 students receive this annually. So that's a huge deal. So we have a little something to send you off on your next great adventure as a Wildcat, where you'll still be wearing purple. Thank you. Congratulations, Jordan.
Jordan, we will most likely be having some questions for you from the board. I'm going to look to my left. I'm going to look to Mr. Munoz, who's online as well. Anything for Jordan? Yes, Mr. Munoz.
Yes, thank you. Congratulations, Jordan. You know, one thing that we know is that students are supported in our schools, but also outside of our schools. I wonder if you have anyone here who you'd like to highlight and tell us about who's here supporting you.
Oh, my family's here supporting me. I have my grandparents, my siblings, and my mom. They all are very much there for me and help me, you know, get where I need to go and pay for what I need to pay for. So I'm very grateful. So yes, that's who I have here.
Right. Well, thank you all to the family of Jordan for being there, supporting her and helping her be successful. We appreciate you.
Yes.
Mr. Tatum.
Jordan, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. It is a delight to have you here and to become acquainted with you. Sounds like you are really doing some cool things with a lot more cool things yet to come. I think I really resonated with the comment that was made about you in the video in which the individual said that you're the same person in public as you are in private. I really appreciate that kind of integrity. You are the same person no matter who you with, you know, what time of day it is, who, you know, what you're doing. I think that's something that resonates with me and something that I think everybody should strive for. But when I think about that kind of personal characteristic, I know I learned those things from other people around me who modeled for me and instilled those kinds of values in me. Just kind of curious as to who are the folks in your circle that are big role models and influences and mentors for you?
Let me think. I think that I have taken so much inspiration from like almost everybody that I meet. This is one of the things that I was talking about recently when I was interviewing or applying for a scholarship, they were saying, like, what's an experience that has taught you leadership? And I think you learn from, I did Link Crew, right? And you meet these freshmen and they are kind of crazy and you're like, okay. But I think meeting them, and one of the biggest things to me is it's not, we make assumptions about people every time we look at them. We look at the color of their skin or their gender or their job position, and we make these assumptions about them. And so whenever I meet someone, and even my freshmen, we always say the freshmen are crazy, but I was able to step outside of my comfort zone and get to know their character, get to know what they're going through, ask them about their families, and build those connections. And I learn from them every day. I develop relationships with teachers and ask them how they're doing, and I learn from them. I meet people who I may just see on the street or whatever the case may be. And I think sometimes it's not necessarily just the people with positions in your life, but it's the people who get to know you and who you get to know. And it's kind of this mutual learning experience, and you get to learn new things and learn those lessons that stay with you.
Well, it was said in the video that you are wise beyond your years. And I think we all know exactly that is true, seeing it in action just now by your response. So congratulations again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys.
Hold on, Jordan, there's going to be like 5 more questions. So
As a warm up.
yeah, Miss Boley.
Can't run away yet. So you worked with the Link Crew. Who would you, at Topeka West staff, who would you tell the freshmen and sophomores to really get to know, because those staff members are really going to help them in their high school career?
I think I would say the 2 teachers that were in that video were Miss Hazen and Miss Weaver. Miss Weaver, they should definitely connect to, because she is the freshman mentoring teacher. So she definitely knows exactly what they may need help with. But I also think just find a teacher that has your specific interests, and really get to know them and reach out to them, because that's what happened to me. I think that, everyone on campus, we can all think of someone who has really had an impact on our lives. And it wasn't necessarily because they were just the teacher, but it was because they were the teacher that resonated most with us. And for me, I would say Miss Hazen and Miss Weaver. Miss Hazen was my person. She's always been like in my corner. And not only that, but she has also helped me become the successful senior that I am today. My sophomore and junior year, like she said, I was kind of gathering information. And then my junior year, I joined her class and started doing my graphics and my videos like everyone else. And then I really developed a passion for mental health, wellness. She was like, hey, you should do the suicide prevention campaign. So I was like, okay, I don't know about this, because it was something that I had never done before. But having her encouragement to say, you got this. And then that later turned into a wellness segment that I did every Wednesday, talking about research and interviewing counselors. So I definitely think it's just whoever you meet, whatever staff member that you get to talk to and that really builds a relationship with you, that's what's going to really help you be successful, is when you have someone in your corner that you can go to.
I think Topeka West is going to miss you. You have become a key part to that campus and others' education, and we want to thank you for doing that. No wonder you're Senior of the Month. We love that.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
coming tonight.
it. I'm honored.
Oh, Dr. Beeson.
Hi, Jordan. Congratulations. I'm curious, you're working with freshmen a lot on Link Crew.
Yes.
Do you think back to being a freshman yourself? And I wonder in what ways you can see that you've grown and changed in your 4 years of high school.
Oh, well, for one thing, I wouldn't be up here talking. I can attest, and for a lot of people who are graduating this year, we were coming out of COVID and being at home, and, during those kind of developmental years when you should be socializing and you should be figuring out who you are, you were kind of just at home. So coming back and coming out of my freshman year, I definitely was figuring out who I was, and I didn't really have friends because everybody kind of got disconnected. Nobody really hung out. I didn't really talk to anybody. I was kind of just in my own bubble, my own circle. You know, you have personal things that happen, you have life, you have family, and it was just really hard. It was just really hard for me those first 2 years. But over time, you know, when you take the chances and you try something new and you get pushed out of your comfort zone or someone recommends something, you know, all of those things add up over time. And that's what happened for me is just, you know, where you go watch a theater show and you're like, oh, I kind of like that. Or you have someone say, hey, you ran as a child. Why don't you go out for track? All of those things just kind of built over the years. And, you know, junior year, just going out and trying some new things and realizing how much I loved, you know, track and theater and, you know, helping other people be built up for me, especially as a freshman. That was really key.
I think that one of the key traits of being a really strong and effective leader is vulnerability. And it seems that you definitely have that quality, which is incredible at your age. One of your teachers said that you're a great human with integrity. And I think that's maybe the best compliment anyone could get. So
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll just wrap up and say congratulations, Jordan. We always think to the like, what would you tell your freshman self? But I think through the video and through your answers here, I think at least us as we meet a lot of students and there's life experience that we've had, and you've been very impressive. And with whatever you choose, I think it's easy to see that you'll do well and go far. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all. I'm on to.
All right, as we prepare for our next acknowledgement, I just want to say, you know, Jordan, having seen her as an elementary student, then a middle and a high, her mother's her biggest cheerleader, who's back there normally videotaping and taking photos, as are her grandparents. Seeing her in National Honor Society, getting awards at Washburn. She is a tremendous individual, and we are so incredibly proud. We'll be taking a break in about 10 minutes after this next set of awards. So if you can sit tight for just a moment. All right, this time we are so excited to have our Challenge Awards. Dr. New, who was our staff member, who also was a principal in Topeka Public Schools. How amazing that she is the one giving out the Challenge Awards to principals, some of whom she may have even hired. Dr. New with the State Board of Education, can you please come forward to prepare to present our Challenge Awards? And let's give her a warm welcome coming from the State Board of Education.
Dr. Anderson. Well, thank you, Board Chair Schumacher and board members. It truly is an honor tonight to award these schools and their leaders with the Challenge Award. And the award says Topeka Public Schools Certificate of Appreciation 2025 Award. Topeka Public Schools District recognizes the school name for outstanding achievement in the face of adversity as a 2024 KSDE Challenge Award recipient. And on behalf of Kansas State Board of Education, we celebrate you all as well. So at this time, French Middle School Principal Ms. Kelly Hoffman.
Math teachers here, and I'm sure this year will be another example outperforming not only the district, but the state.
Wonderful. We'd love to hear that. Thank you so much. Next, we have Landon Middle School. Principal.
Thought it was only appropriate, as Ms. Cooney was the leader at Landon last year, as the recipient, that she be here tonight to receive this award as well.
Well, congratulations to you both, Ms. Wagner and Ms. Cooney. Next award goes to Loman Hill Elementary School. Thank you. Congratulations to you, Ms. Norman. Uh-huh.
I'd also like to recognize Darlene Lubin, who was our instructional coach, and so she was part of the team last year.
Thank you, thank you. Congratulations to you both on your great work. Next, McCarter Elementary School. Congratulations to you, Miss Tiller. Proud of you. Next, McEachran Elementary School. Yes. Thank you. Congratulations to you, Ms. Smith and Ms. Bleepen. And finally, Scott Dual Language Magnet.
Congratulations, Ms. Martinez.
Congratulations.
This is one of our stellar teachers and school leaders, Miss Kelly Roberts, who is an absolute bombshell on not only our fifth grade team, but BLT and so many other things.
Thank you. Thank you all for representing Topeka Public Schools so well. Every time they say TPS, I'm giving my thumbs up. So I'm still a part of the family, and thank you for that. Thank you, Dr. Anderson, and congratulations to you and your team for promoting such excellence in education.
Thank you so much, Dr. Let's give them another applause. I know board members, you might have questions for some of our principals as they are sitting in the audience. And Ms. Wallace, is there any other comment you want to add about challenge in regards to schools that have won it multiple times, or any other comment for you or Dr. Kipp for that matter?
We've had several schools who have won it more than once over the last few years, so congratulations to them. And this really is an achievement around CAP scores in reading and math for some of our most struggling schools.
And with that, I'll turn it over to the board if you have any questions for our principals. And knowing that you may have one, Ms. Norton, can you come up to be the first to answer? Just thought I'd call her, no particular reason. Other than it is nice to see a school that was struggling when she got there, and several of the schools were, and has really made a turnaround under her leadership. It's been exceptional to see. You all may remember Dr. Bonebrake isn't here, and he always brings up stories of when he first went through the building and what he saw in the building, and now it's looks very different at Lowman Hill. So I'll turn it over to the board for questions, or perhaps she'll start us off, and other schools can speak up as you have questions.
Yeah, Ms. Boley.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, my friend.
Hi.
So what do you think that you are doing in your building that is making the most difference?
So I think my first thing is that I appreciate Topeka Public Schools being consistent with the expectation as far as the learning environment. For the past 8-9 years, we are really focusing on teacher clarity, higher order questions, and academic discussion. And that is Lowman Hill. I can speak for them that they are just doing a great job. We do our learning walks and we track that growth, and we're seeing a lot of growth. My teachers want to see, like, where was I at the beginning of the year and where am I at now? I want to see, they say, tell me, I want to see that, because if I'm starting to slip, then I need to make sure that I bump up my questions, or, you know, include a Kagan structure, or make sure I hit those, the learning intentions and success criteria. So I appreciate the consistency with that, because as we have consistency, then we can get really good at things, and then we see the growth, and we are seeing the growth. And I would also say that I just have a fabulous staff, and I feel like it's fitting today. This is National Principals Day, which I didn't even know when I came into the building. And I just come to work every day, glad to be there, because I get to work with such amazing staff, and the students are wonderful. So Miss Boley gets to come to, or chooses to come to Lowman Hill once a month, so she gets to see that. If any of you want to come, you're always welcome.
Bring your scissors.
Yes. But thank you. I appreciate that.
So I just love the idea that your staff feels so comfortable with you and your leadership that they want to know how they can improve more. They're asking that question. That is such a sign of a great leader. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting them that way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Turn it back over to the board. We do
Yeah.
have teachers here. Is it okay? Those two teachers
Yeah,
at French
please.
and at Scott, they have won the Challenge Award for 3 consecutive years and have outperformed the state, in fact. So from French and from Scott, can you please come on up, our two teachers?
Are there questions from the board? Or Mr. Munoz?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Schumacher. For Scott, who's a place that's dear to my heart, what is it how do you get everybody on the same page, or any of the schools here? How do you get everybody on the same page and bought into a process to help move your schools forward?
Well, good evening. Hi, Mr. Munoz. It goes with training. It also, I think, goes with our leadership, not just our current leadership, but our past leadership, and kind of bringing everyone in, buying into it. At our program, we have Gomez and Gomez. And so just onboarding new teachers through training and then continuing to work through that process with them. And like Ms. Norton said, it really takes a team to do it. And we all at our school, we all work together to help one another focus on student achievement.
Thank you so much. I'd love to hear another response.
I would echo too that we just have a great staff. I teach 8th grade math, so I can speak on behalf of the math department. We have a very tight-knit team that is just willing to do everything they can to push students and not give students the option to fail, and just work really hard looking at data. Feel like the district does a great job with our curriculum design maps, sticking to our standards, and just really challenging each other to find new ways to reach out to those students. And also, I'd say for us, it also starts with the top. We got a great principal with Mrs. Hoffman, so we appreciate that too.
Anything else? I was thinking, at the middle school level specifically, it feels, as a parent of all different levels, it feels a lot harder sometimes to motivate middle schoolers. And so how do we move those students, or maybe how is that different in middle school versus some of our elementary schools that are represented tonight?
Well, I cannot speak to elementary school because I have never taught there. I have always taught in middle school. So us middle school teachers and our principals say that you have to be a little bit crazy to stay there for a while. So I think that's part of it, is just recognizing that they are just a group of kids that are trying to figure themselves out in a lot of ways, giving them a lot of grace. And I think it is about believing in them. Again, math always gets a bad rap. And so I think for us, it's just that I can do it, and encouraging them all the time just to, try and stay focused, that we know that you can get there. We have a lot of resources to help you. With teachers and coming in and working before school, after school, over lunch. Might be some candy involved, or chips, or, anything like that we can get, kids to buy into. So we've got a teacher that also does, crazy things, that he'll eat the hot peppers and, just anything that we can reach out to him. Just, we work really hard at that.
That's great. I think you said, failure not being an option, and where you don't allow them to say, I can't, because a younger kid can feel pretty defeated sometimes with math, but being able to support them and push them through that, it seems like it's pretty powerful. So thank you very much for that. Ms. Boley, yeah.
So I'm going to ask a principal a question. Are you glad about that? You can move on.
Thank you. We are thrilled. Thank you.
We're so glad you came up. So I don't know what principal would like to come forward, but my question is, you have done something really remarkable this last year. What do you think that you need to put in place for next year? What is your next step forward to keep improving on that? Hi, hello, Ms. Smith.
Now, the M schools, McEachern and McCarter, have also multiple years met the challenge. So we'll turn it over to
Yes,
Ms.
thank you for letting me have an opportunity to answer that. And I didn't get a chance to say earlier, but I also give a lot of credit to Mr. Vic Williams for this award. And so I really want to make sure that that's stated and emphasized that he was our school principal last year with this award. But I was blessed to have been the assistant principal for 6 years with him. And so I think some of the systems that we had in place that saw success, I feel like we've continued those, having that shared collaboration and the team planning and really looking at the data and really making sure that our leadership team is open to ideas and just to continue to improve. And it's been nice having an assistant principal, Mrs. Bluven, to also come in with some of the great pieces that Loman Hills has done, and just bringing up those ideas and being open to those of, you know what? We were kind of getting close to that, but that's great. Let's take that and really improve on it. And one of those for this year would be just a whole school intervention piece. We had pieces of it. I think we made it better. But yeah, it's an honor to receive this, and I think it's 3 years for us. So we are truly honored. So thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
And with the last item, it's to proclaim what next week is. Next week it is Teacher Appreciation Week, which is why I called 2 teachers up, so we can round this off with acknowledging Teacher Appreciation Week. Today is National Principals Day, but Teacher Appreciation Week really is a time to celebrate every educator. Every educator is a teacher. And so every educator gets a thank you and an item that we send out acknowledging their performance as an educator, no matter what role they play in the schools. With that, I believe we have a teacher appreciation video as well. So we're going to conclude with the video. Instead of reading a proclamation, we get a chance to see some teachers this evening.
I'd say thank you to my teachers just for giving me a positive attitude, and I feel like I've gotten a lot of good opportunities, and even just talking to counselors and everything like that, I feel like I've got a lot of people in my corner willing to help me out.
They have definitely contributed so much to where I'm at today. Just pushing me to try new things that if I hadn't have tried it, if I hadn't stepped out of my comfort zone, I wouldn't have discovered that they were passions of mine.
They support their students and they help to foster a learning environment. It has made me really enjoy certain classes and made me a lot more excited about certain subjects.
Thank the teachers for always showing up, because just by them showing up every day shows me that they want me to succeed in life by getting me ready, preparing, teaching me what I need to know for the future.
They helped me understand things that I didn't understand before. Thank you, teachers, for helping me learn all the things that I know now.
I have a lot of favorite teachers, but one that really stands out to me is Mr. St. Clair. He's very helpful, and if we have any questions, he always has an answer to them, and they always plan really fun activities.
Thank you to all of our educators. We appreciate all of our educators for everything you do every day for all of our families in Topeka Public Schools.
At this time, we'd like to take a break. I do want to mention, as everyone's an educator, and Mrs. Lister, I understand today is your 10th year as board clerk as of today. Is that right? So I want to make sure we thank you for all of the support you give to our teachers behind the scenes. And at this time, we'd like to take a break. Are we starting with our senior of the month?
She said this is the zone. John Boy's going to start with French, and then Landon. Okay, secondary is. And Dr. New, do you want to point us with a photo? Board of Education here. Thank you. And once we get to the last one, we'll do one larger picture while we're all here. All right, for our next set of schools, our elementary schools, Ms. Miller and Ms. North, just the row that you're in. Scott, the language right after that.
One at a time.
Gordon, and when we do take your pictures, so if you drop off the join us, we take pictures for the elementary. Then all of our challenge award winners, if you want to come and take your photo with all of the challenge awards.
You want to hold dinner?
For those that didn't know, Topeka won the most number of challenge awards. I think there's one school that was slightly higher than Topeka. 6 challenge awards out of 100 in the state. That's what our school. You all just make 2 rows and they just. Oh, yeah. Ms. Martinez, on this side. Yeah. Ms. Tiller, can you go around?
I do too, it's okay.
This works.
Everybody in?
Yep. Scoot back a little. There we go. All right, on 3, 1, 2. All right, there we go.
I think those are all of their photos. I don't think you got your photo. Will you take a photo? Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Normally the principal administrator send it. Congratulations. Nobody took a photo without her administrator. Do we mind taking one more?
since you up here, we were sitting in the afternoon. Yes, ma'am.
There we go.
Okay.
Sure.
Good to see you. Nice to have you back.
Okay, so I think it's public communications next. And we have, okay, and there's no public communication, so I will move to disposition by consent. So I'm looking for a motion. Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move the board approve the items of business by consent as presented and authorize the board president or superintendent to sign the special project and purchasing contracts for and on behalf of the board.
Is there a second? Dr. Beeson, is there discussion or questions around the consent items? See none, we'll look at a vote.
And all votes are in. The motion carries.
Great. Then I'll turn it back over to you, Dr. Anderson, for the superintendent's report.
Well, next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and we have a teacher here that'll be presenting on behalf of the HR report. We thought it would be nice to hear about the work that was inquired about with Brett Church and what we're doing with human resources. And so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Sharp to introduce our teacher as she comes to the podium. And Ms. Sharp and our staff will be presenting from here.
All right, thank you, Dr. Anderson. Good evening. I am excited to have Miss Kelly Roberts come back up and share with you about her experience with the Champions Group. As you already heard, she is an amazing classroom teacher at Scott Dual Language Magnet. Ms. Roberts is one of those teachers that is quietly working her magic every day in the classroom, not always drawing attention to herself or maybe getting the recognition that she deserves. So I am honored to have her share her experience serving on the Champions team, which is one of the items that we had partnered with Epic and Dr. Brett Church and Luke Simmering. Has been working closely with the HR department in the district, serving really as that outside consultant, outside perspective. And so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Roberts to share about her experience.
And Ms. Roberts, how long have you been in the district, and what is Scott your only school?
Yes, it is. It's okay. Good evening. Good evening. And so I am a fifth grade teacher at Scott, and I have been teaching for 11 years, and all of them have been at Scott. So I've bounced between third and fifth grade. Currently I'm in fifth grade, as I already said. And then, so I'm just going to talk to you about my experience this year with the Champions Group, a little bit about why I chose to be, to fill out the survey that was sent out in the fall, and then kind of the progress and where we are right now with the progress. So my first thing I'm going to talk about is my motivation to participate. So first, I have two reasons why I wanted to participate in the Champions Group. The first reason is because on a personal level, teacher retention in general is a very strong passion of mine. I believe that great schools and districts need great teachers who stay. It's not that teachers are just leaving to go to other schools or districts. They are leaving the profession altogether, which is concerning for me as a person who loves my profession with like tenfold. I also, so I wanted to be a part of a team that could find solutions to retain and engage teachers. And then the second reason why I wanted to be a part of this group is because I love working in this district. I live in Lawrence. I choose to commute every day. My son comes with me. He goes to school at Scott as well. He's a kindergartner. And so, I could work really probably any district, even in Lawrence, but I choose to come here because I love working for this district. The mission, the vision, the innovation that this district has, I'm very passionate about that, if you can't tell. And I wanted to have a part in providing positive change in school environments, which includes finding focus areas to help increase teacher retention and engagement. So that's just a little bit of why I chose to put my name in to see if I could even be part of the champion group. And so now I'm going to talk a little bit about the process of the group and what we've done this year. So after we were selected in the fall, the team of champions met to look through the focus group data that was collected previously at a previous focus group professional development. We spent time brainstorming reasons why we thought teachers were not engaged or staying. And by the end of the meeting, we had decided on 3 main focus areas. So we were then put into small groups and given 1 focus area to work on, we are to create a goal statement and action items, which we have spent the majority of the year working on that aspect. And this work included looking at the focus group feedback that was specific to whatever area we were put in. Also talking with people within the district that might play a part in that area of focus. So for example, my focus area was communication. So I reached out to all the principals to ask, how are you communicating with your staff and how often? That was a question that we were looking at. And so after we did that, we were to create a goal statement and then some action items to go with that. And we recently met as a whole team to share our goal statements and action items to get feedback from the other champions on the team. So we all came back as a collective group. We shared our goal statements or where we are in the process because some of the teams have not yet finished their goal statement and their action items. So we kind of brainstormed some extra things that they might be able to look at. So our next steps are that we have a couple of groups that are still working on their goal statements and their action items, and then we will have a chance to collaborate with district administration, get feedback, change things if we need to, maybe add something if there's something that we need to add, and then we will present our final recommendations.
And as she's given that overview of the teacher experience, Ms. Sharp will share a little bit about the takeaways from that new teacher session. So we're going to go back to the slide on the new teacher session. Ms. Sharp received the report that really highlights 6 takeaways. So we just took those 6 takeaways and we're sharing with you what was given to us as they're coming up with their action steps. Ms. Sharp.
Yes, so Dr. Church and Dr. Simmerine met with groups of new teachers on Monday, along with teachers who were in their 4th through 11th year. So what you see in front of you now is our takeaways from the new teacher session. So we would like to continue refining our onboarding practices. That's something that we really have worked on over the last year and made a lot of changes, but continuing to make that as smooth and simple for staff as possible. Continuing to reflect on how we want to tweak and change our mentoring program. That is a long-standing program that we have had, and just making sure that new teachers are feeling connected to their mentors and really feel that that time is meaningful. Topeka Public Schools is well known for their professional development, so just continuing to make sure that professional development is relevant to those new teachers and really focused on instructional best practices, along with providing students with that behavioral and emotional support. New teachers are really wanting healthy connections with their administrators. That is something that when we saw the feedback from the EPIC survey, that was a strength for Topeka Public Schools, is the connection with principals. So just continuing to have building administrators be mindful of that. Again, that feedback loop and the communication that Ms. Roberts was speaking to, and making sure that principals are modeling and supporting that work-life balance that we know anyone in education is working on, how to manage it all and doing what we can to support staff. So we all have the same goal of retaining teachers. And so HR and teaching and learning will take this information and continue to work together to make the best environment for our staff that we can. On the next slide is the takeaways from the 4 to 11 year teacher group. You will see many commonalities, I think. So a few differences are that what is that professional pathway? Topeka Public Schools, again, really good at growing our own, but do teachers have a clear understanding of what that pathway could look like for them? Differentiation of PD, new teachers, tenured teachers, do they always need the same thing? What do those choice sessions look like? Which we just had choice sessions on Monday, so I'm continuing that practice. Number 3 really was around curriculum and what's held tight and what's held loose. I'm giving some autonomy to staff with some instructional practices, but yet they also want to know what's required and make sure that they're meeting expectations. So again, behavior, communication, supporting that mental health and that work-life balance. So we will continue to dig through the feedback that Dr. Church and Dr. Simmering provided us and make sure that we're doing what we can within HR to retain our teachers.
Mr. Reinert, is there another slide?
No.
Okay. So we're going to turn it over to the board for any questions that you have for both our teacher or Mrs. Sharp.
Yeah. Questions from, Ms. Boley.
Are we able to bring those slides back up? Thank you. On that last slide, a little bit more explanation around number 6. What does that look like?
Yes. That really was around recognition for high performing staff. What are ways that we can continue to highlight our effective teachers? It has listed paid mentorships, which we have that in practice already. So that's one that we might want to dive into a little more and make sure that we're clearly understanding each part of that so that we can make adjustments where needed. But some of those things, we have DSAs already in practice where we're highlighting new teachers and tenured teachers. So we'll continue to reflect and think of ways that we can expand that. And we'd be open to any ideas.
Other questions?
Could we go back to the first year teachers slide? I think it's just back one more.
Oh,
I think it was the new teachers slide that you were just
slide.
on.
Yeah, going
slide.
forward.
Right
Yeah,
there.
right
There
there.
we go. Thank you. There was one there. Oh, I know what the question was. You said there are some teams that are struggling creating their goal statements. What is the barrier for this occurring in this group?
I don't necessarily know if it's that they're struggling. I think one of the barriers would be time, finding time for all of the members of that team to meet. And then I personally just don't know where they are, if after our last meeting when we all convened, if they then have met since then, because that just happened maybe like 3 weeks ago. We all convened and then talked about some added points that they could add. And so I'm not quite sure where those groups are in that aspect. But I do know, I mean, I think the hope was that we would have all of this presented prior to end of school year.
And so it's really a time element of getting everybody together in the same room on each of those groups.
Yes.
And then your focus was in communication. What
Yes.
are the other focuses?
The other focus is one of them is professional development, and then the other one focuses on student behavior and mental health, which includes student and teacher mental health, like supports.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dr. Beeson.
Quick question. So is some of this coming out of a response to investigating why teachers do leave?
Ms. Sharp?
Yes, so the EPIC survey that has really been implemented statewide is focused around why are teachers engaged, why are they not, and why would they be leaving the profession? And so this really was taking data points from the TPS survey is what the Champions group started with, so that the champions could then impact and help make change and be a voice for teachers.
Okay. So as teachers are leaving statewide, they are kind of surveyed about why they're leaving the profession? Or does that data exist anywhere?
Statewide, the
yeah.
EPIC survey, Ms. Walsh, you want to share how that works and when that's given out?
So every 2 years, they give that statewide survey. So next October, this last year, we gave the survey just in TPS. Next year, it is a statewide survey that will be given again. And so all teachers across the state have an opportunity to respond to questions like that. It's one of the reasons we pulled a focus group for teachers in years 4 through 11. What came out of the initial survey statewide was that that is the group of teachers who are most likely to leave the profession.
Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else?
I just want to thank Ms.
Yeah.
Roberts and both Mrs. Sharp for being here this evening and for participating the amount of time. Scott actually met outside of the traditional meetings, outside of Professional Development Day, and her team and the members of that team continue to meet in that space. It says a tremendous amount. And then Ms. Sharp and team ready to already put in place some things that are really responsive, so that as we start next year, there's some things that we're doing as a direct result of the feedback that we're getting. So we thank everybody that's been participating.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Roberts. And I think that's it.
That does conclude our remarks.
So we have action items next to roll through. These are items that we reviewed at our previous meeting, and we'll go one at a time through them. So our first one is 21.1, approval of the 25-26 board meeting schedule. And so I'd look for a motion. Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move to approve the 2025-2026 board meeting schedule as presented.
And is there a second for that? Yeah, Ms. Boley. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, a vote.
Vote is open. All votes are in and the motion carries.
Great. Next, 21.2. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, Dr. Kipp presented to us the out of district, the numbers of available seats to students out of district. And so this is approving that, acknowledging that. So I will look for a motion for 21.2. Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move to approve the enrollment numbers as presented in the last board meeting.
And is there a second? Ms. Boley. Any discussion on those? Okay, seeing none, I'll go to a vote.
And the vote is open. Mrs. Bowley?
It hasn't come up, so.
Okay. Yes,
Yes.
and all votes are in and the motion carries.
Great. 21.3, we talked about some policy changes at our last meeting. Some of the changes, because of like federal changes and changes around auditing, and then some of the changes from nursing around medications and supervision of student medications. And so I'll look for a motion on 21.3. Yeah, Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move to approve the recommended policy and regulation changes as discussed at the last meeting.
And a second. Dr. Beeson. And is there any questions or discussion on those? Okay, seeing none, we'll move to a vote.
All votes are in and the motion carries.
Okay, and finally, 21.4 is the, Mrs. Wallace presented at the last meeting, the new curriculum for social studies resources, which we have some of the copies behind us and were available for review. And so I would look for a motion to adopt and purchase those. Yes, Mr. Tatum.
Mr. President, I move to adopt and purchase the requested social studies resources and corresponding professional development.
And a second. Dr. Beeson. Any questions or comments on that? Okay. One final vote.
The vote is open. And all votes are in and motion carries.
Great. I think it's just board member comments. So I'll look all the way down. Notice nobody is sitting by me here. This is, I do not like this. As president, I don't want this to happen again. I'll look at Dr. Beeson for any comments tonight. Mr. Munoz is no longer on the meeting. Thank you, Mr. Tatum. He is still with us, but not on the meeting. Dr. Beeson.
I am a little out of sorts because I missed the last meeting, so I'm hoping I've got everything covered here. We will have health insurance coming up soon, so I don't have anything on that real recent. Believe our 8th graders are visiting high schools starting next week. We have Adaptive Field Day on Tuesday the 6th, which I'm looking forward to attending. Lots of award celebrations at the high school level, and our retirement celebration on May 13th. Let's see, we had a wonderful carnival at Whitson Elementary last week, complete with a petting zoo this year. I'm not really thinking of anything else at the moment, so I'll keep it short there.
That's okay. Thank you, Dr. Beeson. Ms. Bowley.
Mine probably won't be that short. Sorry.
You have like an hour, so it's fine.
That's perfect. So my committees that met, we had a tech committee this last week. And we had some discussion from that committee around cell phone policy. There's been they were asking for feedback on that policy that is in place that we'll be discussing later. And so we were receiving feedback on that. We were lucky to have both of our middle school leadership and our high school leadership, Mr. Dick and Mrs. Hoffman. And so we were able to ask them or I was able to ask them questions about their opinions of what's happening in the schools since our actions and what might be weak spots or places that we might be able to support them better. So we had some good feedback there that I'll share when we do have that discussion. We talked about the upgrades with Windows, and there will be training for any teacher this summer on Windows 11. So that will be an open position for people if they are having concerns about how to use Windows 11 or what they might need. There will be some professional development there for them. And we definitely are talking about, which was a discussion with the teachers that are on there, of removing of desktops, and they'll only have their laptops. We're one of the few districts anywhere that has a desktop and a laptop for staff. And our desktops are aging out. And for financial concerns, we figure everybody can really use their laptop for everything that they need. And so this summer, before you leave your buildings, you should be getting any information off there that you want, because they're liable to disappear this summer. Poof. And so that information will be expressed to all the teachers, staff. People will understand that that desktop is poof, will be gone. So just stating it here so that people will have one more information piece here as they try to get that information out. I was on Keisha. We had our end of year meeting and had votes on certain items. And some of them were just policy items that they're making changes in their book. Some of it was a lot of discussion about our small schools. We're concerned about our enrollment, but when you have a school that only has 60 students and you lose 3 students, it makes a big difference in not only the money you receive, but the sports teams that you have. And so there was a lot of discussion about the 6-man and 8-man football, which doesn't affect us, but a lot of discussion there. And then also what they have adopted for esports. And the coaching piece will be the same as like for our debate coaches, our debate and speech coaches, our spirit. And so it's already in the handbook, and they will follow Rule 10. And I will be meeting with Mr. Reinert soon and sharing this. And I've already met with Mr. Dick and talked to him about all the changes that took place. And they really had a large discussion around our dual sports students and the amount of hours they need to have in practice. And they're really looking at trying to cut back on the summer practice, which I think there was quite a bit of support in the room, that we're burning our kids out and our coaches. So even though that was a big push 15 years ago, it looks like it's a reverse in that area. I was contacted by Dr. Anderson helped me with our board. KSB. I got too many. I got Keisha. I got too many of these acronyms but they contacted me today and asked me to continue to be on the legislative committee and helping find those create those. So I will be doing that again for this next following year. I really enjoyed. I went to Williams for their parent STEAM night. And one of the things they had posted was one of our standards. And the standard also had a problem-solving piece to it. So the standard read, 4th and 5th grade problem, design a prosthetic for a rainforest animal that was harmed during a deforestation, I can't even say that word, event. And engineer and define a simple design problem reflecting a need or a want that includes a specific criteria for success and constraints on materials, time, or cost. And they were given a whole handful of straws and tape, and they had to make these prosthetics for the rainforest to problem solve this situation. And the animals that they picked and the prosthetics that they designed were amazing. Some of them were like this big, very small, and some of them were very large. And it was just so interesting to see what the students designed and put together. So just to have that idea that we are looking at those standards, we are problem solving with those standards, and we're designing around those standards, it was just really rewarding to see. And that's why when I go to Highland Park Awards Night and I see so many students receiving scholarships for the scholastics that they put in place, I can see why that happens for them. And the community support for that awards night, we had the local coffee shop there. We had a car wash owner there. We had individuals. We had Mr. Robbins and his wife. We had Dr. Anderson in memory of her husband. There were so many people who are supporting these students. And it was just so wonderful to see that happening. Topeka West play was remarkable again. And the Lego, instead of painting on ShareFest, I got to judge the Lego contest. So that was very enjoyable to see what our students are doing with presentation and design again and problem solving. And I'm just so proud to be a part of this school board for Topeka Public Schools.
Thank you, Ms. Boley.
An hour. That was almost.
No, it was not. That was perfect. Mr. Tatum.
And mine's going to be even longer. No, I'm joking. Totally joke. Sue is she's a tough act to follow. That was very good, Mrs. Boley. No, mine, I have a few items and like Dr. Beeson, since I missed last session a couple of weeks ago, I didn't get to report on one of the committees that I was at, one of the committee meetings from earlier this month. I'll just start with that one. The TPS Foundation Investment Committee met on April 8th, and there was just, a lot of it was just kind of, talking about, where funding levels are at in certain investments and things like that. A lot of it was just kind of cut and dried boilerplate kind of reporting. It is interesting. The issue of the tariffs came up. And since the Trump administration has put the tariffs or initiated that's a good way to put it, the possibility of the tariffs. Of course, I think most folks are probably aware that that's created some instability with the stock market and with the GDP and other fiscal indicators within the United States and across the world. One thing that was mentioned in this conversation with the committee is that even though there's lots of instability, there's also some potential upsides. For example, the bonds trend relative to equities is now favorable, where previously it was not. So that is a good thing for our investment as a district. So part of the takeaway from that meeting is that there are challenges, but our hair isn't necessarily on fire. These are things that folks, the people at Clayton wealth partners that manage these funds, they are trying to look upstream as much as possible, and use the information that they're gaining from what they see to make some downstream decisions on how that's going to impact our investments as a district. And that's absolutely what we want those folks to be doing right now. So, I think just being cautious and forward thinking about these issues is probably the way to go. On Monday, this past Monday of this week, the policy committee met, and one of the things that I thought maybe I would leave this for Mr. Munoz, but since he's not with us anymore, so Mr. Munoz and Mrs. Schmidt and I met with Mrs. Whiteman, and then Mr. Reinert was there, and Chief Cochran, and we talked about a variety of different things that are happening. The cell phone policy also came up in that meeting, and we know that was really kind of a primer for the meeting that the full board will have in 2 weeks on the cell phone policy issue. But then there's a number of other policies that are just things that the committee is working on updating, really just kind of as a matter of routine, making sure that there's been policies that haven't been looked at or updated in a long, long time. And so that's really a part of the regular work of our committee, which is to look at those policies, make sure that, that they've gotten some fresh attention, some fresh updating as needed. And then you guys see the results of that. We bring them to you. They're on the agenda as we get finished with them and as they're ready for the board to vote on them. And that's what you guys will often look at when you see that there's some policies up for approval on our agenda for consent. So I think that's pretty much everything with the policy committee. The finance committee, we bumped that meeting back a couple times simply because of people's schedules and other things, other events, district-wide events that were taking place. So I think we're meeting next week, if I remember, 2 weeks. Okay.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. Thank you. That's right. Interestingly, we don't normally meet on a Tuesday, but for this meeting, we are meeting on a Tuesday. So more to come on that when we are able to report back after that meeting. And I think, unlike Mrs. Boley, she had some really fun things going on. And I don't know that I did, other than the fact that from what Dr. Anderson told me earlier, apparently I was the only board member to support ShareFest this year. I don't mind. I don't mind holding it down for the entire team. But well, you're welcome. You're welcome. Usually Mr. Munoz does it too. I'm surprised that he wasn't able to. In fact, I had that conversation with someone, I don't know, it may have been my wife. I said, yeah, I'm sure Lalo Munoz is probably across town, working at one of the other ShareFest sites. But I was at Highland Park, and one of the benefits, I mean, not only is it once a year in which folks come together to work hard and to contribute something corporately to one of our schools. I think it's just an amazingly beautiful thing. But you also get the satisfaction of a job well done. You get to step back and look at your handiwork and to see the progress that you helped make over the course of just a few hours that you're there working, playing in the dirt or painting or, whatever it is that needs to be done. So that was quite a wonderful experience, quite a blessing. And I think that may be all that I have. So, Mr. President.
That was almost longer than Sue's. Yeah, it was. I timed him. I had technology committee, Miss Boley covered that very well, and finance committee will be coming up on Tuesday. Earlier, I think it was this week, a few of us visited the FUSUS Center. No, it's FUSUS. It's at the law enforcement.
Fuses.
Yeah, FUSUS Center. And so something that Dr. Anderson and I talked about during kind of our board planning, maybe following back up on that, not at the next meeting since we'll be discussing cell phones some more, but then maybe that first meeting in June, we can kind of wrap back up on maybe if there's policy changes that we discuss. Next meeting, we can follow those up, but then also talk about the FUSUS stuff a little bit more since there was a number of us that attended that. We also celebrated the Distinguished Staff Awards, the DSA Awards, since the last meeting. But really, it's a lot of stuff that's coming up. The college prep is coming up next week, a week from today, I believe. Retirement, like Dr. Beeson said, on the 13th, and then a couple graduations on the 14th before we meet back on the 15th. Also happening that week, Mr. Tatum, you had made note of this some time ago, but the letter that you and I had gotten from the Herbie Hancock Institute of Music. So Dr. J.B. Dias, he's a professor at UCLA in the Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz, and they pick 8 school districts nationwide, and Topeka Public Schools are one of them where they'll visit. There's going to be himself, Lisa Henry, who's a vocalist from Kansas City, and then Bobby Watson, who's a saxophonist from Kansas City. They will be visiting Topeka High and Topeka West. Topeka High on Monday, May 12th, they'll have workshops and a concert, and then Tuesday, May 13th at Topeka West, they'll have the same. So he's been working with Mr. Reynolds. They will go through really different, our district and then Kansas City, Kansas, they will visit the rest of that week, and then there's a concert at the Blue Room in Kansas City. If we can hightail from our graduations to the Blue Room at 5 o'clock. On the 16th, 17th. So that's a very exciting opportunity. I did attend the Topeka High Band Awards last night, and so as a former band kid, former jazz band kid, and a parent of band kids, stuff like this is very exciting, and hopefully will be powerful for some of our students. And I think that's all I have. No, Ms. Boley, you cannot. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, you can. Yes.
I just wanted to state that Trey Richardson, who was a student of ours 2 years ago, also was involved at Highland Park High School's awards. He has started a scholarship. He's starting small. He has a clothing line, but he came back to pay back our district by giving out 2 scholarships this year to the students. So that just touched me. I just realized that I needed a Kleenex when I was there, but it was so nice that he came back for that we had touched his life enough that he thought about coming back to Highland Park to do that.
And he's excitingly, he's kind of moving on to bigger. So he spent some time at junior college and then played for Washburn and ran track. He is incredibly fast for Washburn, but he's going to be going to Vanderbilt and playing in the SEC this next year. So that is very exciting, and that's great. Thank you for sharing, Ms. Molly. I take back that you couldn't do that. Okay, so I think we just need a motion to adjourn.
And Dr. Schumacher, I know you're about
Yeah.
to make the motion. I neglected to acknowledge Dr.
Oh,
Meehan,
yes.
Common
Yeah.
administrators in the audience that was just approved. You did just approve under your consent, Dr. Mejia as the General Director of Cultural Innovation. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Now I'll look for that motion.
Right. Mr. President, I move the meeting adjourned.
In a second. Ms. Boley, and then raise of hands. Your right hand, please. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. It's unanimous.